Welcome back everyone. The iPhone 6s Plus was actually one of the iPhones that I used to use as an everyday device. It was right after my 6 Plus and right in between and right before my 7 Plus. And what I can tell you is that the 6s Plus really isn't worth it necessarily anymore, at least in the later part of 2021. But I will tell you, with the iPhone 6s Plus, it has an interesting history because it kind of brought a lot of things to the table, this and the 6s, but it also is the oldest supported iPhone on iOS 15. So those two things in and of itself kind of mean a lot for the specific iPhone. So even if this iPhone isn't worth buying anymore, that doesn't mean it didn't bring a lot to the table, and it doesn't mean it's not important, because as I've stated for many years now, I think the 6s and 6s Plus were some of the most important iPhones Apple ever pushed out. Now, first of all, two things really changed with this specific device this year. We got the newer iPhones, so the iPhone 13s, which really didn't impact these iPhones at all, but we did get the iOS 15 update, which significantly changed this phone for sure. Now, before I get too deep there, I do want to hit on the body, which I'm sure most of you know. 5.5-inch IPS panel, bezels on the top and bottom, headphone jack, lightning port, single camera setup on the back, and overall the build quality still feels pretty good. For it being a 5 or 6 year old phone now, it's pretty insane in my opinion. The cameras are also pretty interesting. This was technically the first iPhone to bring 4K video, so at least it has some capability in that sense. But on top of that, still the front camera is not really that great, and the back camera isn't really that great either. So those are some pretty big things to keep in mind. But I'm still happy this thing has some camera capability, and at least it still turns on and it works. Now, on top of that, like I mentioned, the iPhone 13s came out, and I've done a bunch of camera comparisons and just comparisons in general between both of these phones. And I was seeing that the 6s Plus is definitely slower and definitely, not as good of a performing phone as the iPhone 13s, which is expected. But I was still kind of surprised to see the similarity between both these phones. And that really comes down to the iOS updates. The fact that the iPhone 6s Plus has the same software as the iPhone 13s, it really is kind of weird to see how similar these things are. When you take away the bezel and you take away, I guess, the premiumness of the iPhone 13s, you are kind of still stuck on the same type of, atmosphere. Yes, it's slower. Yes, it's not as good. Yes, it's not as fast, all that good stuff. But it's still very interesting to see the similarity between both of these devices. So I will tell you, I'm not saying the 6s Plus is close to the 13. All I'm saying is that there is some similarity and some overlap between these iPhones, which is pretty interesting. Now, on top of that, iOS 15 is definitely not an update I would recommend installing on your 6s Plus. Like I mentioned, this is the oldest supported phone right now on iOS 15, and that's not really a good thing. I mean, of course it's good, here you go, like there's some things here and there you can go for it, but I would not recommend installing iOS 15 on your iPhone 6s Plus. There's a bunch of issues across the board, there are random glitches, and like I mentioned, you would be in a much better situation if you just stick with something like iOS 14 or something along the lines of that. That is definitely going to be more up your alley and definitely something I would recommend doing than going ahead and installing iOS 15 as of right now. So that's pretty much how the iPhone 6s Plus holds up in the later part of 2021. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.